So all the new Wintexes now come with this monitor. It's actually really nice, but this is kind of the brains of the situation. Now there's really nothing in here besides a bunch of connections. Everything's controlled from this monitor. It works the exact same way. We have one new system with the monitor. We still don't use it. We still like our foot pedal. We like our start switch. So you don't have to use it, but it is handy in certain situations. You can rotate the probe by a push of a button. You can take the probe up and down by a push of a button. You can change your depth really easy. So it's nice. And there's less chances for screw-ups. Everything, when you have the monitor, everything up here is all weather packs, tight, doesn't come loose. If you take the lid off here, I'm sure you've all seen it at some point. But this, got her. This is what it looks like now. You have the gray computer in the center, which, like I said, is updatable. You just put a So the gray computer in the center is updatable. We've had 3 different styles of relays to the right-hand side. We've had a problem with burning computers up, and these can be added on to any model as well. We had a problem with computers burning up because it was backfeeding back from the Honda engine and burning our computers up. Put these relays in, we haven't had a problem with them. They're really easy to change, replace. They got lights on them, so you know what the Wintex is trying to do. Is going to have a probe down, probe up, probe rotate. 2 fuses inside. If you ever have the thing just not work, start with the fuses. About guaranteed they're blown. Hopefully it's just a one-time thing. Otherwise, general causes for fuses blowing, well, number 1 is those 2 gray cables that run back to the Honda engine. They'll get on a muffler, they'll get pinched, they'll get cut. They'll ground out and you'll blow fuses several times a day. It'll be frustrating, but tracking down wiring issues like that is just never a whole lot of fun. This is where the gray cable goes down to your motor. Has that probe rotate relay, and there's also a larger fuse for just the motor that rotates it. The 7.5 is main power for the Wintex. The 15 amp, in this case, sometimes they're 25, sometimes they're 30. But it's always 7.5 for the main power, larger one for the rotation. If that one keeps burning out, then you know it's just has to do with the rotation. If that one keeps popping and you're...
If you are blowing fuses, that doesn't mean put a bigger fuse in it.
Correct. Because it's going to pop that one too and could fry the Wintex computer itself. These counters, they are replaceable. They're a couple $100. I don't know if we generally don't look at them, but it is easily to replace. There's just a battery in there, but it's self-controlled or contained battery. It can't be replaced, so you got to buy a new counter. But the huge difference between the new and the old is just look at all these wirings, all these connections that are just waiting to fall out. I mean, enough rattling, enough shaking. They're secured the best they can for this model, but it will happen. At some point, you'll get a loose wire, and then you got to trace it down. It can be frustrating. Your Wintex work perfect 7 out of 8 hours, but that 1 hour is not working perfect. It's very frustrating. Like I said, these 6 LED lights, all they're doing is coming from the sensors, so they can be added to any Wintex, just a drill bit and a cheap light. And there are lights on all the relays as well. The new one, it's just a board. It's got 8 weather pack connections. I got a slide on it. It's just so much more secure. We've had them out for 3 years now. I have had one go bad, but those problems compared to what we used to have with problems of this electronic, I mean, it's not even comparable. It's a better option now. Even when they came out, I was scared. Change is hard. This seemed to work, but these monitors are better. Like I said, you don't have to use them, but it does have to be in the cab with you. They're water resistant, freeze proof. I mean, you can beat a lot, but you do have to protect them a little bit because they are plastic. If you drop them on ours, we protect it right behind our soil box. Otherwise, you take off down the gravel road and a rock hits it, you'll have a bad day.
I will say that my experience in knowing Josh and talking about Wintex is if you ever call Josh and you have an electrical issue, before you call, make sure you have at least a test light with you or a multimeter in your hand when you call, because he's going to run you through a few things to check.
Yes. And like I said, on the old system, you need a multimeter, you need a test light, you need to have the lid off the gray box. I mean, check your fuses, do the simple things. Seems like I get a couple calls a year that they just don't have the emergency switch lifted up. Just do the simple things and then give me a call and I can walk you through about anything on the old systems. New system, I'm learning still, but it's much easier. You don't need any of those tools. The monitor tells you exactly what's happening, which is very nice. Another question I had over break was, the guy said he had 7,000 acres on his sampler. What should I do? He's had it for a season. I told him wear pads. And I also, again, told him make sure you have probes, tips, 27 millimeter wrenches, an extra spring, and always have the right tools with you. Just get a toolbox, put your name on it, put whoever's running that rig name on it, make it their property, just make it theirs so they have to take care of it. Otherwise, tools go missing just like every other shop. Another question I had is just wear pad tightness. I do have an example up here, and I will show you. You can all come and do it yourself, but he was wondering that maybe he got his drilling head too tight because he was pushing with everything he had. He even had to tap it with a rubber mallet. That is about right. If you can just slide it on up there, that thing's going to get loose inside a week, then you got to tear it all apart. On the inside sledge, you can't get it as tight as the drilling head sledge just because you don't have the momentum to put it on there. And you don't want to be beating it too much with a rubber mallet. It's new. So on the sledge, we get that much tighter. I can kind of show you here if I don't break the table. But yeah, yeah, there it goes. You need to have a lot of force. You shouldn't be able to push this one with your hand at all. If you can push it with your hand, it's not tight enough. But if you can't move it by using the mount to move it, then it's too tight. So don't be scared to tighten it. But if it feels just kind of common sense, if you can't move it at all, then it's going to be too tight. It'll run nice and tight for a while, but then it's going to heat up the rail, wreck your pads, and make you take apart the machine again. I wish there was a torque setting, but there's not because it all depends on the rail. New rails are different than old rails, so I really wish there was a torque setting, but there's not. It's more of a feel. And first time doing it, I mean, you might over tighten it, but it'll just give you a good opportunity to tear it apart again and learn some more. All right, if we want to go into the PowerPoint.
Can you take the old system, can you add that monitor to an old system?
It's possible, but what it would cost, you're better off just getting a new system. The monitor itself's $1,000. The motherboard up top is, I think they're $1,500. So you got $2,500. Then all new sensors, all new wiring. I mean, it probably not worth the money for it.
That would just be buying the tower. When you buy just a tower, you might have to buy the power pack and everything. It would just be the tower that you would have to buy, and then the monitor to come with it and everything. Because the power pack's the same, the hydraulics the same, the mounting of everything is the same. It'd just be the tower itself.
And they're all plug and play. You can put old to new and new to old, and it just works. So in that situation, I would either put that one as a backup, sell it to someone you know, trade it into me, and then just get the new tower. New towers are $6,500, so it's not. By the time you put all that money into an old one, you're better off just buying a new one.